As her breath trickled out, she did wonder if she might not deserve the damp embrace of heavy Edinburgh clay. Part 1. The Orange. Edinburgh Evening News, 2nd January 2011. Second coldest winter on record. Experts from the Met Office today confirmed that Edinburgh is in the grip of the second coldest winter on record. Roads throughout the city have been made treacherous by sheets of solid ice. Ice. We urge householders to help by digging out the pavement in front of their homes, said a spokesperson for Edinburgh City Council. The council has been attacked for failing to keep the thoroughfares clear. Neighbours. National charity Age Scotland asked city residents to look out for the most needy at this time. Check on your elderly neighbours to make sure they are keeping warm. The cold weather is set to continue for at least the rest of the month. 2011. Margaret Penny came home on the spin of a coin. Heads to the north, tails to somewhere else. Over the hills and far away, perhaps? Or a place much further than that. 6:25 a.m. on the second day of the new year, and she arrived back in the Athens of the North to grey skies, grey buildings, grey pavements, all encased in ice. And the people, too. She woke as the engine of the overnight bus judded to a halt, hair all this way and that, head sticky with lurid, panicked dreaming. She gathered up all she had left, a small hold-all and a red, stolen coat, and stumbled from the warm confines of the bus as though from a womb. The exit steps were narrow. She stumbled as she went down, stepping as though into air, straight into a gutter full of slurry. Shit. But cold and viscous, ruining the only pair of shoes she had left. It was a rebirth of sorts. "All right, hen." Margaret Penny's companion of the night and of the dawn, and of the early, early morning that had never seemed to end, tumbled down the steps behind her and cracked open yet another tin of special. "Happy New Year!" He had reached his promised land. Edinburgh, along with the rest of Scotland, had one more day to party before work and life resumed. Spume sprayed towards Margaret in an arc, flecks of foam spattering her stolen coat. The man cheered, swinging his can up in a salutation of sorts, a tangle of dark hair and sparkling lager droplets scattering hither and thither. Everything to celebrate, nothing to regret. After 30 years, Margaret Penny was home. Her mother, Barbara, lived in a modern block of maisonette flats on the north side of the city. £7 or £8 in a taxi at that time of the morning, double at that time of year. It was nothing compared to London prices, but half of all the money Margaret had left. Edinburgh never had been afraid to charge more than one was expecting. She decided to walk. The grey streets were deserted. 6:45 a.m, and it was as though the whole of Edinburgh was sleeping or dead. Not a light in any of the tall windows, no one exercising their dog, nothing but street lights surrounded by sodium halos in the murky morning air, and plumes of steam rising from central heating vents, like ghosts. Margaret slid and cursed her way down the hill from the bus station, gripping at whatever she could find to aid her descent. Railings and traffic light poles, litter bins studded with the glacial remains of 1,000,000 cigarettes smoked to the last. The ice here really was treacherous, thick and impacted, the air pinching at her lungs. She wished she'd stolen a pair of gloves to go with the coat, or a scarf at least, something to cover the bare extremities of her flesh, hands and throat, ears and fingers, frozen already like the very tips of the Alps. Margaret had forgotten how cold Scotland could be, and how God-forsaken too. Down at the bottom of the long hill at last, she staggered into the residence parking bay at the court, almost colliding with the back end of a large black car as it revved and skidded its way out.